What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. We have something a whole lot different than what you guys are used to seeing. We actually have a tournament replay session that I'm going to be talking about. A lot of you guys know what the TTM tournaments are. Some of you may not. It's basically a tournament where they had, I think, somewhat close to like 500 people are part of the tournament. And you get put into different draft pools. And then after the draft pools, you get split up into battle pools, and there'll be four people per pool. And basically, the top two of the best records in that pool will move on. And so that's what we're talking about now, is the 3 battles that we took on for our pool. And we're just going to watch those and see how we did, seeing as how we have some holes in our content schedule right now. And so I didn't really plan on recording this, but oh well, here it goes. So let's go ahead and play this first battle. Oh, I did forget something. Hold up. Skirt. Talk about the team. Oh boy. There we go. Live editing. We did build. We were like a low pick in the draft, and we did go ahead and build off of Mega Scissor, as you saw in the thumbnail. We picked up Mega Scissor and Manaphy right off the bat, and I wanted something to help Manaphy out, and so I went with, because we had wheel pick, and so we just kept wheel picking and wheel picking. So I went with Celebi and Rotom Heat, with Rotom Heat being one of our Z users, as well as Manaphy. I did forget about that. Or no, it's Haxorus. Shoot, I forget, because I have Rotom Heat in the other league. Dang it, I forget. We'll eventually see. Anyways, we did pick up Haxorus as our dragon type, as we got sniped so many times in the dragon types and dark types. I wanted dark types, I wanted dragon types, I wanted ground types, and every single one of them got sniped super hard on us. Like, I had Crocodile at one point, I had Gliscor at one point, I had Hydreigon at one point. I mean, everything got sniped. So we went ahead and picked up Gligar, as well as a very solid, just a bulky wall Defogger and Stealth Rocker as well. Our team overall doesn't really get hurt by Stealth Rocks, but just in case there's a week where, a battle where we actually need it. We also have our Rabombi there for basically webs and a really good speed tier, and you guys have seen me use it 100 times, and I love using Rabombi. And I'm on that I've used a couple of times as well in Ampabomb, as normal spam and the low points that it was really fit the team well, that I thought, and it gets an extreme amount of coverage moves, which will really help throughout our battles. So let me shimmy this back over here. That's about right. So turn 1 here, having Shield Dust and predicting him to click Fake Out, thinking that he could like Fake Out Bullet Punch me. I am going to turn 1 Moonblast this thing to death, as he actually just goes in and clicks Bullet Punch, and thankfully we do have enough HP to live that, but we are, I think, choice specs on this mon. As he switches into his Rabombi, and we have sets for days to eat up our own mons. I built very heavily against his Ditto. Now I very so much value a Toxic on this thing, so that it does not get its burn for its what's its stupid ability? Marvel Skill. Now, since he'll be into threaten away his Milotic, and now I just go ahead and I sack off my Gligar, but he actually U-turns and we do live it, which is kind of funny, but he does outspeed us and kill us with Foul Play in the end. I am going to just go ahead and fire off our Sticky Webs, as I think I might have been actually Focus Sash, not Choice, now that I remember it, to kind of force him into defogging. And I Bullet Punch here. I don't remember why, but I go ahead and U-turn away. I thought it would do more damage than that, or hoping he didn't have the Reflect. And I do value the Toxic up on this Tornadus, as well as Rabombi. The webs aren't going to help me in the rest of this battle. It only would have helped me against Ditto. Now, knowing that I can actually like eat some hits from this Tornadus, as we are actually an extremely bulky rest stall with our Manaphy. This is so that the Ditto can basically do absolutely 0 to our Manaphy, and we can Toxic stall the rest of his team down, as he does go ahead and knock off our leftovers, which kind of sucks, but the Scald and the Toxic goes ahead and takes out this Tornadus. And we are still in the rain, so if he'd like to, you know, give us any kind of hazards, it's fine. It doesn't hurt us, like Toxic or T-Wave or anything like that. So I do go ahead and make the offensive play back into Celebi to go ahead and take out this Milotic. And at minus, you know, 2, I don't really think Ditto wants to come in on this thing. I do feel like he wants to set up his screens here, but it doesn't really matter to me as he literally can do nothing to me. And he sends in his Ditto realizing that he can do nothing to me. Literally, I'm built for his Ditto to not touch me whatsoever. He can click any button he wants with his Ditto. He's choice locked into it. It does not matter. It's just going to be a stall turn, and he will lose the stall turn. A stall fest, as he will lose it, as he only has 5 of those, you know, Scalds. Excuse me, I yawned. So he is just cured of the Toxic. I'm just trying to waste Toxic, as I don't need but just 2 Toxics to really deal with his team. As I do go ahead and click rest here, which was kind of dumb, seeing as how I can to not have rain up. But that is a-okay, as I can live any hits from this thing, as that does absolutely 0. And at this point, I'm just trying to get Toxic up on this and Toxic up on the Ditto, and he won't be able to touch me. But I do miss the Toxic, so I am forced to click the Rain Dance first, then rest. But again, I know that this Klefki can do absolutely 0 to us. And so really just Scald burning this thing till it dies is the way to go. And he has no form of recovery, and I can just literally spam Scald in the rain, and he has nothing to hit me with. I should put this on fast now. He can do 0, and Scald eventually does take him out. The crit does not matter. As he sends this thing in, and all I have to do is Toxic stall this thing, and that is it. I set up the rain one more time just so that our Manaphy can guarantee live. And at this point, as soon as this Mudsdale goes down, I do win the game, as his Manaphy against my Manaphy cannot touch me once I let the rain go away. I can literally just click rest if I wanted to. We do eat up the hits from this Mudsdale. And eventually I am going to just attack it. I'm kind of trying to stall out the rain turns as well, just to kind of speed the battle up along a little bit. Turns out he does have the berry for this stupid Mudsdale, but it does work out perfectly, as the last turn of rain goes ahead and takes out the Mudsdale. And at this point, all I have to do is click Toxic one time and then rest, and I do win this game. Nothing else important really happens, as just he wanted a forfeit, but it wouldn't have worked out for me. I actually would have got a 3-0 win instead of a 4-0 win if he forfeit, which is really weird. So basically, I'll just skip through this a little bit. It's just him clicking Scald and me stalling turns, and eventually he does die to the Toxic, and we do pick up our first win in this pool with a 4-0 win. Moving on into our next battle, we actually did these battles back to back, and we have a much different team this time. Let's see, I kind of try and remember some of this team. I'll be honest, I don't remember how I won this game. I didn't rewatch it before. So I am Ice Punch Ample Bomb, but I do not. I'm Ice Punch and I'm Life Orbed, but I do not want to take that damage because I'm -1. But he actually has Pursuit, which is kind of crazy, as I do switch into my Gligar to get my rocks up, forcing him to have to Rapid Spin, which he actually knockoffs instead of Rapid Spinning, which is actually amazing for my Scissor. As I can OHKO that Cryogonal at any point, and that's what I was doing, was OHKOing that Cryogonal. As I actually have Technician HP Ice to take care of his Lando T, as I ate any hit from that, even a Z move. And at this point, I do fear a Fire Punch from the Scrafty, which he ends up having. And he burns me, which doesn't really matter, as the whole point of this Gligar is to keep rocks away and to put rocks up. So I do go ahead and I fire off the Defog, which kind of sucks because he would have just... Oh no, it's great. It keeps the rocks off for our Rotom Heat. And I can just go ahead and put them right back up. I took that chance as I did not feel like he wanted to stay in. And I do go ahead and I Toxic up this Scrafty, which he actually gets the first turn Shed Skin, which is really bad. So I'm just going to fire off, Aerial Aces, just to get a little bit of chip damage up on the Scrafty, since the Toxic wouldn't really matter. And now I'm going to spam Stealth Rocks. If he wants to kill me, I will keep the rocks up. If he wants to keep spamming Rapid Spin, eventually he will figure this out, that it doesn't really work out for him. But I valued the Toxic on this thing more than my rocks. I felt like I could get the rocks up later if I needed them. He actually gets the freeze on the freeze drive, which is huge, as this would have done so much work to his remaining team. So I go ahead and swap it out just to save it, sending in Ampabomb, hoping I can live his HP fire, which then I can go for another attack. I do click Fake Out again, and at this point there's no reason to click to switch, so I do knock this thing off, and it loses its Choice Scarf, which is kind of funny because it didn't outspeed us either. So I do go ahead and switch into Gligar, which I thought I would be able to outspeed this thing and get up my rocks, but I don't outspeed it. So I know that it can't do anything to me. But I actually unthaw. I was going to take this, I sent it into unthaw, and I actually do get the unthaw. So I know this thing's going to click probably Sticky Webs or HP Fire. And I just want to kill the Galvantula. Just want to kill it, and Manaphy has a field day. As I do go ahead and switch right back into Celebi, as my Celebi can just obliterate this Mega Venusaur, and I'm immune to the Leech Seed that he clicked. I do go ahead and I click the Earth Power, predicting it did the most neutral damage to each Pokemon there. He goes ahead and he sends in his Scrafty. So I want to Volt Switch out of that. Oh, excuse me. Right into Scissor. Excuse me. To take any hit from this thing. As he goes ahead and he clicks the Fire Punch, and I knew that I could live that and take it out with Aerial Ace and Bullet Punch. As I was very afraid of this Scrafties, it could have done a whole lot of work. I do click Bullet Punch here as well, just to get a little bit of chip damage off. As he clicks Volt Switch, it takes out our Mega Scissor. At this point, I know that Manaphy can win this game if I choose to. But I do go into Celebi knowing that he's forced in a Mega Venusaur, which he actually swapped out, which I thought was kind of wild. Because Galvantula, I felt like, was his win con. But he goes into this, clicks Sludge Bomb, does a little bit of damage, but not enough. As I do believe we can kill with Psychics here. It could be wrong. I think Psychics into Overheats. Psychic into Overheats can put us in range, especially with that Spadef drop, which he does go ahead and take us out with the Sludge Bomb. And we do go ahead and send in Rotom Heat and pick up the kill with Overheat, which is kind of wild because if you look at the first two games, Manaphy was actually our MVP for this battle. Manaphy didn't even see the field in this battle, and I did have a pretty cool set. I'm not going to get into it though. Going on to our last battle, I found out during the battle that actually we were clinched because of those two wins that we already had and because they were high differential. So this game didn't matter for us, but it did matter for Brain, and so I said I will still play competitively. I'm not just going to give him a free win, and I still want to have that 3-0 in our pool as well. So if he wins this game, no matter what score it is, he moves on. If he loses this game, no matter what score it is, he does not move on. And we actually face another Manaphy as well. So that's sort of two Manaphys we've faced in our pool. Let's go ahead and get into this battle. He starts with his Thundurus, and I want to just fire off this Moonblast. As we were Choice Specs, I wanted to kind of make him think that I was like a Sticky Web's lead, and he might want to click a Agility or Thunderbolt or anything just to predict us switching out. I do click Bullet Punch to try and take care of that Thunder's T at that point. As he goes ahead and gets up his Stealth Rocks, as I switch into my Gligar. As I wanted to get the rocks up so Thundurus would die on switch in, which I missed out on, as he goes ahead and clicks HP Ice, which I'm this time going to just fire off the Bullet Punch again, as there's no reason for him to switch, as if he switches, he'll just lose his Thundurus in the long run. And I know that this thing cannot touch my Gligar, as he actually has Flash Cannon instead of Iron Head. Turns out its attack and special attack are the exact same stats, so him having Flash Cannon, not that weird, it just seemed pretty weird to me. He goes into Hitmontop, probably to spin away his wet rocks, as I go ahead and I click U-turn. As this gets me into my Haxorus, as I'm trying to get into an offensive position here, as he clicks Thunder Wave as I substitute, which is perfect. I go ahead and I click my Swords Dance, as Earthquake is a massive chance of killing this thing, and actually not with his investment. I think he was max HP, max defense, so we do go ahead and take it down to very low HP, and we do get our Iapapa Berry back, I was kind of predicting him to click Thunder Wave again as a last ditch effort. And I do take it out with Earthquake as he sends in his Manaphy, and it turns out it is a Choice Scarf Manaphy. No, wait, not Choice Scarf. I don't think I put in enough speed. It was guaranteed outsped me, I think. I kind of wish I was DD. Oh, the other thing too. You kind of see it in the chat right there. I accidentally brought Rivalry Haxorus. And it didn't end up mattering. It's kind of funny. So go back into Ampabomb, as I can just fire off any tail slaps that I want on these mons, and it should do clean damage to anything left on this team, and I miss. I want to go ahead and defog these rocks away, as I know he cannot put rocks back up at this point. He can take arrows away with Gligar, so I do go ahead and I click the Earthquake, trying to get a little bit of chip damage off on the Hitmontop, as he goes ahead and gets a DD up on us in our face, as I go ahead and I switch into our Manaphy. And I know I can eat any hit from this Zygarde, as I do very easily, and I go ahead and I fire off the Hydro Vortex to take this thing down to 1 HP. And I switch into Mega Scissor so that I can take this hit, guaranteed, and go ahead and knock it out with the Bullet Punch. So I wanted to save Manaphy for later, but he makes the smart play and saves his Zygarde, as I actually roost, predicting him to keep that and or die to the confusion. And I make a double back into our Gligar, as I can eat any hit not named Manaphy from any mon. And I can even get my rocks back up if I choose. But I'm just going to go ahead and fire off some damage, trying to take out the Zygarde. Go ahead and I U-turn again for momentum to get back into Scissor, as I know at this point I can probably win with Scissor. His Zygarde is low enough. I'm looking at the calcs. His Manaphy I can kill from full. This thing can't kill me no matter what. Like, as you've seen, 2 close combats brought me down to 17%, as I do take this chance to roost up. And I am predicting him to go ahead and go back into Hitmontop here to kind of lower my attack down to 1. And I do make that prediction and click Swords Dance again. And I click it again, as getting up to, I believe here at +5 puts me in range to win this game. As I do go ahead and I click Roost here, predicting him to click Sucker Punch and or switch out again. And at this point, I have another free Swords Dance, where if I Swords Dance here, I can get into +6. But I do go ahead and I take this thing out, as I just wanted to get damage off. I know I can live this Scald easily, just please don't burn, which I do live, do not get burnt, and I get the Bug Bite Oko off on the Manaphy, which Bullet Punch goes ahead and can take out this Mega Absol, which Sucker Punch did way more than I thought it was going to, which that hurt. I do want to go ahead and get my roosts up. I told him sorry. I want to go ahead and keep my HP pretty high. I don't want to lose this differential point, and I kind of wanted Ampabomb to get a kill as well, because I was actually King's Rock Ampabomb. He goes ahead and clicks Bullet Punch, gets a little bit of chip damage off, and we do pick up the KO with our Ampabomb, giving us the let's see, what was that? 4 to 6 +10 differential, and we are moving on in the pools. We do start the next pool next week. I really enjoyed playing with this team, and I really loved the synergies that they had, and it's been very fun to play in the TTM format. And I will probably get a video up for you guys probably next week after these battles happen. Kind of depending on how good they are. I mean, if it's just like a couple 6-0s or something, I don't. In either way, I mean, I could get 6-0 as well, because the second round's where all the best players show up. I might not want to just show that off, but to be honest, hope you guys have enjoyed this so far and like the team that we have. It most likely will be just for a short time, but if we keep moving on in this tournament, we could potentially actually be in the TTM live stream, and that would be really cool. If you guys have enjoyed this and we're hyped for these 3 battles that I gave you, 3 battles in 1 video, please drop a like down below and subscribe if you'd like to see more of this content. Peace out.